Well, hello, Steiff superfans. The heat is certainly on, not only outside where I think it's about 90 degrees and very humid, which explains both my beautiful glow and beautiful abundant hair, but also here at Steiff Central, where I have something utterly amazing and utterly beautiful, I believe, to unbox with you. And just to let you know a little bit of the background behind this unboxing, the family who sent me this item contacted me a few months ago with this inquiry. And they said, "What is this? Have you ever seen this before? We can't find any reference to it online." And I looked at their inquiry and I almost needed oxygen. You know that feeling like, oh my God, could this possibly be? And indeed, what they're describing, I did find in a reference book, but it is extremely rare and extremely early. And I was hoping and hoping, please, please send this to me. I'd love to see this. I'd love to handle it. I've never handled anything exactly like this in the past. So this is as new for you as it is for me. So is that enough to get you excited? I'm certainly excited. Well, the box has arrived. The box arrived very recently, and let me show it to you. It's here at my feet. And again, it's a nice box, very well packed, not too heavy, but the size is exciting, but the contents are more so. So shall we begin the wonderful process of unboxing? I have my scissors handy here. I've learned after all these times to be ready with all the essential tools. So let's get started. Oops. Get the seams here. I don't want to miss anything here. Unpacking the wonderful unboxing. Oops. So excited I can't keep myself on the seams. Let's hope that's enough. Let's give it a shot. Another little wiggle here. Maybe for Christmas I'll get a larger pair of scissors so this goes easier. What do you think about that? All right. Here we go. All right, here's one side and a little more here. Okay, all right, one more side. Beautiful. I managed to untape this without hurting myself or the item, I suspect. All right, it's beautifully packed. Wow, this person is very organized. I'm going to remove lots and lots of bubble. And here is the item. Beautifully packed, of course, in a plastic bag, as I always recommend, to keep it safe and waterproof. Let me show you the bag. Oh, it has my contact information. Here's the bag. See, it's pretty big. All right, so I'm now going to unzip the bag, and it's what I think it is. Ooh, put on your seatbelt. Literally, this is awesome. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, kids. I've never seen this before in real life. I've only read about this. If you've seen it, that is amazing. I'm guessing this might be the first time you see it. Are you ready? What we have here is hot stuff, literally. This is a tea cozy in the form of a cat. I know, like, I don't even know. I need to take a breath. This tea cozy, you see, it's got its big hollow body and jointed arms and head. These tea cozies were in the line in basically the first quarter of the 20th century. This particular tea cozy, the cat dressed up in a phenomenal red top and felt bottom and an apron. This particular tea cozy appeared in the line from 1906 through 1910 only. And the same tea cozy with this same body, but the heads were different. It also appeared as a bear and a rabbit around the same time. This particular tea cozy is based on the design of a tea cozy that was launched in about 1904, based on a character from the Katzenjammer Kids cartoon series, and that was the cook or the missus or the mother-in-law, however you refer to the big woman, the big funny woman who was a prominent player in that cartoon series, and she was in the same outfit except they had her felt head. Now let's measure her. Now, according to typical measurements, this should be 43 centimeters, and let me measure my Steiff teddy bear ruler for you. And she indeed is 30 plus, so she's 40 centimeters. She's a little bit smaller than the 43 centimeters, but it's very possible she could have shrunk over time. Sort of that's what happens with older ladies over time. So I'm not really surprised, but she's perfectly within the range. Just gorgeous. Now let me take you from the top to the bottom, what makes this such an exciting and beautiful and insanely rare, gorgeous Steiff find. Let's look at her little head here. She's the cat. Look, see, can you see her close up? She has her beautiful felt ears. Now her button has been lost to time, but that happens. She's absolutely a cat, this cat from this period. I've handled many Steiff cats from the very early turn of last century, and they all have this very distinctive look of a simple nose and mouth and these kind of slit pupil eyes and sort of a serious look. It wasn't until the 20s that the cats got kind of friendly and pretty, but very serious and very lifelike. And she has a serious task to do. She has to keep your tea warm, your coffee warm. So that's a beautiful mohair head with the felt ears, these glass slit pupil. By slit, I mean it's not round inside. It's kind of like a crescent, very cat-like. And she has a pink hand embroidered nose and mouth. I'm just feeling for some monofilament whiskers, but those have been lost to time, but that's okay. And then you see her hands, which are also mohair. And then you see the top of her dress, which is red felt and polka dotted, as it was in the original Mrs. or Cook or Mother-in-Law tea cozy. And then you see she has her original apron, which is so cool. Now consider this. This item is more than 100 years old, and it retains this accessory. It's tied beautifully onto the back. It's so cool because it's not stitched on, so you would think it would get lost at time, but it didn't. So that's really amazing. It still has its apron. And then it has, of course, its beautiful green skirt. All right. And so what makes this a tea cozy, if you're not familiar with the term, is that this would be put over a pot of coffee or tea, or maybe in a perfect world, hot chocolate. How yummy would that be, to keep it warm? And the way it does that is if you look in the inside, which is totally hollow. Look, can you see it? It's like looking into a black hole. All right. What you're seeing is several layers of very thick felt. And what that does is it acts as an insulation. So it's very thick. And I'm going to try to show this to you. I don't know if you can see this, but if you look inside, can you see that disc? That's the head jointing. And then there's two arm jointing. So these are jointed very similarly to the way that a teddy bear or other fully jointed item would have been jointed from the turn of last century onward. And that's still the way Steiff joints its things. So this is utterly phenomenal. I mean, can you imagine? Breathtaking, just breathtaking, from 1906 through 1910, and stands at 40 centimeters. The standard size is 43 centimeters, and that's just totally perfect. Remember, these things were all made by hand, so there's always going to be a little plus or minus to the measurements. Anyway, I hope that you are enamored of this item. I hope you are in love with this item as I am. I have never seen or handled the cat version of the tea cozy. The lady version of the cook, the missus, or the mother-in-law is relatively common only because it was in the line from 1904 through 1943. So it's a long time in production, and a long number of many were produced over that time. You'll see the cook or the missus or the mother-in-law tea cozy in many of the print advertisings because it's just such an appealing product. This, on the other hand, is so rare and so beautiful, and it's just astonishing its condition, and without doubt, 100% completely original and authentically Steiff. So that's what I have for you. Hope you've enjoyed this unboxing of this remarkable, very early turn of last century, unquestionably Steiff tea cozy. Anyway, I would say teddy hugs, but I'm going to say kitty hugs for now. And until our next unboxing, be well and see you soon.